Yesterday we have covered till performance, right? We need to discuss in detail on redundancy. Here, right, in redundancy, it is something like it is more important in cloud. What is mean by redundancy? Redundancy is something like uh, it is something like a backup of your data and of your service. Okay, like whatever the data you are storing in that particular service, that is something like a backup kind of thing. And we have more options here. We have something like LRS and GRS and ZRS and ZZRS. And whenever I select standard, I got these options: the LRS, ZRS, ZRS, and ZZRS. And if I select a premium, right, and whatever the options you have seen here in standard, those options you can't see. You can see only LRS and ZRS. Okay. On premium side, right, you have only two options. One is LRS and another one is ZRS. And here you are having the options to select like what type of blob you want to create inside this storage account in premium. Okay. And if I select the standards, we got more options. See, the LRS is something like low level security. Low level security. Low level security in the sense, let me take the images for you. Or else let me take paint. Yeah. And see, like our data centers, like Azure data centers, was exist across the globe. Across the globe, the data centers will be there. Across the globe, the data centers will be there. And for example, like in each and every zone, in each and every region, you will have the data centers. For example, assume this is one region. Assume this is one region. In LRS, right? In one region, you will have multiple zones, like within a radius we'll have the multiple data center. And this is globe and this is a region, and inside this region you have the zone, and inside a zone you will have one data center, and inside this you can create services, and inside this you can create files, and whatever the files you want to store, and you can create inside this storage. See, this is the globe, and this is the region, and this is the zone, and inside the zone you have the data center, and inside the data center you have the service, and inside the service you have the what I can say data. Okay, and here, right, just redundancy is something like to protect your data from the failures. That might be the natural disaster, or that might be something else. That might be something else. And here, right, you can see like we are storing the data. And let me take another image. Oh, no, I can't. Let me open another one. Yeah. Just now I have discussed service, right? And inside a data center, we will have a big racks. Here, we will have big racks. This will protect the data, right? And inside this rack, we will have the drives. We'll have the drives. Assume these are the drives. These are the drives. Whenever you create a service, and that service holds this drive in backend, and inside that drive the data will be stored. Okay, and in LRS, right, how it is going to protect LRS? See, like if like we have stored the data inside this disk, okay, this disk, assume this to disk 1. Assume this is disk 2. Assume this is disk 3. Okay, and you have 3 disks. Okay, and I have stored my data inside this disk. In this disk I have stored my data, and now due to some power issue or due to some XYZ reason, this disk got failed. Which one? This disk one got failed. So now there is a chance of losing a data. To protect your data on disk level failures, we need to choose this LRS. LRS is the basic redundancy storage. Okay, and like what it will do, it will create a 3 copies. Copy 1, this is 1 copy, and this is 1 copy, and this is 1 copy. Okay, and due to some issue, this disk got failed, so the data will be accessed from the disk 2 until the disk 1 will be replaced. Okay, and like if these two disks got failed, and from this disk the data will be consumed to your service. Okay, like to protect from the disk level failures, this LRS will be used. And now this is all about LRS. This is all about LRS. And we have something like ZRS. Before going into the ZRS, right, we will go with ZRS. Okay. If you read here, this is something like intermediate option to protect the data against the data center level failure and recommended for the high availability scenarios. Okay. Now we will go to our image. And just now we have discussed, and this is a globe, and this is a region, and inside a region within like 100 or 200 miles away, the data centers are exist across the zones, and this is the zone 1, and let me type here, this is the zone 1, and this is zone 2, and this is zone 3. This is zone 3. Okay, and this is a region. Region. And inside this we have the data center. This is the data center. Assume this is the data center. Okay, and now we have the zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3, right? And here, right, in case like we have stored our data in like a zone 3 data center, assume you have stored your data in zone 3 data center, and due to some natural disasters, something like a tsunami or earthquake, or due to some floods or cyclones, the data center got vanished. Now there is a chance of losing your data. To protect your data on data center level, you have to choose something like ZRS. And what this ZRS will do, and it will make a copy of in each and every zone, and it will create one copy here, and it will create one copy here, and it will create another copy here. Okay, and if this zone get fails, and the data will be accessed from either the zone 1 or zone 2. From either of the zone, the data will be accessed. This is something like a data center level protection across the zones. Is that clear? Any doubt so far? Okay. And then we will move with Z or S. GRS, sorry, ZRS. ZRS is something like uh, it's a global redundancy storage. Global redundant storage. What this will do, it will protect the data on a region level failures. Region level failures. Region level failures in a sense, like this is one region. Assume this is something like yeah. Assume this is something like some XYZ country. Okay, XYZ country. I don't want to specify any name. And due to some tsunami or some floods or something else, this entire region gone. Then there is a chance of losing your data again. Due to some war, there is a chance to lose your data. So, because of that reason, like you can't able to access your data because of region failures. To protect your data on on region failures, we need to select ZRS. ZRS is something like global redundant storage. Global redundant storage. And what it will do, it will protect your data on region level, in region level. And let's show you some image. Yeah. See, if you observe this image, what it is doing in primary region, it is creating a three copies within a data center, and this will call it as a LRS. And in ZRS, and it's a zone redundant storage. And what it is doing, it is creating a multiple copies across the zone one, zone two, and zone three, and single copy it is maintaining within a region. And we have something like ZRS. ZRS is something like geo redundant storage. Geo redundant storage. And what it will do, synchronously, it will copy, synchronously it will copy the data within a data centers. And you can see something like a primary region, and you can see something like a secondary region. In primary region, it will make a three copies within a data center. Within a data center, it will make a three copies. And here in secondary region, it will make a three copies in another data center. For example, like in US, you will create a what I can say, like three copies, and in East US or somewhere else, you can like already there will be something like a regional paired regions. We have a list like there was some regional paired. We have something like Azure paired regions. We have the list like how many regions got paid. Is it okay? I will show you that in some. Yeah, and here, right, what it will do, it will create a something like 3 copies in secondary region and 3 copies in a primary region in geo redundant storage. And we have something like read access geo redundant storage and RAGRS, that we'll call it as a RAGRS. And what it will do, you can able to read your data from the secondary region if you select RAGRS. Okay, and like it is useful for reporting on the heavy backup scenarios. Okay, you can able to read from the secondary region. Okay, and that will keep you safe on the data disaster recovery point of view. And we have something like ZZRS. ZZRS is something like geo zone redundant storage, and it will keep 3 copies in the secondary data center, and in primary region it will keep 3 copies across the Z or S. See, like based upon your selection, the price is going to vary. Based upon your redundancy selection, right, the price is going to vary. And like the SLA is going to increase. SLA in the sense like service level agreement, that will be increased. See, if you observe LRS, you can see something like 11 nines. Yeah, 11 nines. You can see something like 11 nines. And for ZRS, we can see 12 nines. So, yeah, 12 nines. You can see 12 nines. And for GRS, we can see something around 16 nines. And we have more for other. Like for ZZRS, we can see 19 nines. This is the service level agreement. This is the guarantee they are giving for this service. Okay, this is all about the redundancy. Any doubts in this before moving into the next topic? Any questions? Any doubts? Okay, I can take it as nothing. Okay, then we have something like the advanced settings. What these advanced settings will do? Like whenever, as I mentioned, we have more options. We have more options. Like why compared to the drive, right? Google Drive, we have more options here on the connectivity point of view and the security point of view, and more other. We have more features here. And see what is something like required a secure transfer API, something like a REST API. It is something like application program interface. And whenever you are trying to access this data via API, like it must be transferred securely. It must be transferred securely. For that, you need to select this option. You have to select this option. And if you check, if you enable this option in protocols, we have something like 2 protocols we have. One is HTTPS and another one is HTTP. As we are aware, the HTTPS is more secured protocol. If you see this browser, you can see something like HTTPS. This is the secure one. And for few browsers, you can see some pop-up on right side, something like not secured. Mean that particular browser is using HTTP protocol, which is